This is a timeless, intuitive reading. Hello, welcome. Take whatever resonates and leave the rest. If you feel called towards this reading and it shows up into your algorithm, this is for you, okay? So, the first word I've gotten is the word effortless. And another download I've gotten is the power of effort is not how much energy you have, but how you can continue to do the effort with ease. Okay? And another download that I've gotten was we don't have to choose to believe that it is a struggle. And whatever it is for you, whatever that it is, you can make many other choices in terms of how you see even not just any circumstance, but the state that you choose to be in while these circumstances happen or take place, if they are. And you don't have to choose to believe that it is a struggle to find a solution. It is only a struggle when you choose to say so. It is only a struggle when you choose to say so. There are people with, I don't know why this is coming up, people with no hands, people with like no limbs that are still able to paint beautifully. It probably was a bit of a challenge for them at first to learn to paint. But when it gets to the point where you have gone through enough repetition where your efforts really pay off by how much more easier it is to create what's on your mind no matter what circumstances that you are in. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say, sorry, when you say, well, when I say that we don't have to choose to believe that it is a struggle. And you're wondering, Dove, if you mentioned previously that the power of effort is not how much energy you have, but how you can continue to do the effort with ease, how can you do it with ease if the situation you're in and what you're facing, what you're challenging is not easy? Well, I would suggest to watch anybody who absolutely, whether they have valid crash outs, whether they have valid um, reasons, very valid reasons why that could have been, the end for them, and that there's no solution to the circumstances of any kind that they've been through, that you know that you're not facing, especially if that's you. I would suggest you look into these people. Now, there seems to be like this word that stood out to me. I don't know what it is. I just saw the word open one day and I was just like, this is so deep. Like, this is deep on a, I mean, there might be somebody here who reads the Quran. Um, this really reminds me of what it's Surah Al-Fatiha, right? It's the first book of the Quran where um like it's called the opening, right? And I can't help but not think, well, I ended up thinking to myself, like, I don't know what the etymology of this word is, but isn't it ironic that since awareness is God and thoughts and awareness connect, and the thoughts that you either choose to select or not are pretty much choices, not just that you make, but they're portals. Is it interesting that the word open, literally, there's a letter O, and next there's the word pen on it. I don't I don't know why. Oh wow, that's a message right there. My phone automatically connected to my laptop by accident. But maybe it's not by accident. Maybe there's a reason. There evidently is something where, you know, through this effortlessness, through this power of the effort that you continue to hone within yourself, the the choice that the power of effort that you have within you can be continued to be to do so with ease, and through not choosing that whatever you're going through is a struggle, but choosing to believe that there is another feeling other than struggle that you absolutely can feel, that doesn't have to drain you, it doesn't have to make you feel like you're living in despair at all. And so when I think of pen, there's O, I think of it as a portal. And your choices and your thoughts, whatever you select, are portals. Uh, and what, unless you say so, what concretes it, unless you say so and you change your mind, is through whatever tool you use. Whether it be a literal pen or whether it be any tool that you can think of that. And maybe, you know what? Maybe that's why that's added there. Through the effortlessness, you're going to find a tool through whatever thought that you're having that's going to lead you to whatever it is that you need so much, or that you've waited for so long for, that, or maybe you don't end up waiting long for because you've already recently, because some of you probably have recently thought about getting this certain tool. In order to open the gates of like whatever it is that you are going through. And so whatever it is, it's going to come to your vicinity at any moment. I don't know why I said vicinity and any moment, usually I would say soon, but any moment, it really only depends on you and how, what you believe, and how you believe in whatever the timeline is. I believe that it's here now. So it's better to affirm that, yeah, I have the solution now. Everything is good now, and it all worked out better than I assumed it was going to be. Just keep on telling yourself that the solutions are here. Okay? Now, there is a card that I pulled out, and I was just thinking to myself, like, this is kind of relevant to this reading. In fact, when I first pulled it out, I can't help but smile because I was just like, like, and it goes back to everything I talked about again. So the card is self-love, and the number is, let me just put it here. There you go. And the number is 2255. I mean, maybe some of you really need to get in touch with how good sleep feels, how good showering feels, because, whatever, there's a lot of people that are going through certain times. Wow, this is a confirmation again. This is for somebody who's especially impacted and going through what's going on today, familially, politically, um, in community, in your close circle of friends. There is something because there's 2 2 and 5 5, right? I can't help but think of like twos as in connections with other people, and fives as in like the fifth house. Um, Whatever your fifth house is, but the fifth house that represents like creativity, children, mm, I think relationships, but like they're not marriage relationships, you know. It's but it's also inner and personal. These numbers are inner and personal, whether it be in your chart, whether it be like I personally think it's like really like I can't help but think of house like not the numbers of the houses or something. But I realize like, you know, regardless of like what you're going through in these areas of your life, there's a lot of self-love required, even though it sounds like you're, you know, beating a dead horse. It feels like you're beating a dead horse. It almost feels pointless, you know, if you're going through whatever circumstance you're going through and you're already affirming like I have like the best solution for all that I'm going through and I just received it now, and saying that multiple times. But when you understand how the power of vibrations and the words and the vibrations and the sounds that come out of your mouth, just like how you would stop joking about yourself and, you know, beating yourself up by choosing to withdraw from telling yourself that, and choosing consistently and consciously to tell yourself, I love myself. I am perfect even if I make mistakes. Even if the perfection can be the soul and the heart that you have within you. You know, if you're just like, okay, that perfect thing, that sounds like it's too unattainable. Okay, all right, then just say the perfection in your spirit. Like, I don't know why I say that, but like I don't even like the word perfection. But the way you see what is perfect is dependent on your perception. I think there's something about perception, because there's also times that I agree with a person where they say that the reason why, let's say, I see somebody as imperfect is because the reason why I see them as imperfect is because it was, yeah, there you go. The reason why I see them as perfect is because of their imperfections. It's because of the things that they have that not everybody sees as perfect. Like that's it's always dependent on your perception at the end of the day in terms of how you identify perfection, or how you perceive perfection. And when you love yourself on that level where it may sound like crazy, even by simply saying something as simple as the solutions are here now, but just like how you tell yourself in the morning, I'm tired, oh my God, I'm tired, or in your head, especially, I'm tired, but you're saying it in your head, you're gonna feel tired, right? And so whatever your dialogue is every day, what is it that you can change that not just affects how effortless your life feels, but how easy it is to put effort in things without overstepping your boundaries, but also by adding in faith and not despair. And it requires a lot of self-love, and I'm not saying you don't love yourself if you're not doing that, but love is in connection, a huge connection to awareness. And you know, and I talked about how awareness is God, and awareness is very heavily connected to love. Like there's a reason why, and I think there's somebody else here that reads the Bible too. There's a reason why Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13 talked about how, you know, there's hope and there's even faith which is aka the knowing. To know what you've hoped for, that you know what you're hoping for is in reality, right? The greatest of these is love. The greatest of these is love. And that's what I think about when your awareness is increased to the point where you know how to reclaim how you speak to yourself, because you know it doesn't just affect your dimension around you, it affects the dimension within you, then expect things, there is a purpose to it. And it's so funny because the bottom cards that are underneath the reading, or the self-love, or like that are the bottom of the deck in general, after pulling out self-love, actually it kind of fell out. So, and I shuffled slowly too, but there is purpose. Okay, there's purpose, and there is aware. Oh, I didn't even mean to show the card like that, but this also might be a message too. I don't know why, but I think of Gemini when I see this. So if you're a Gemini, I intuitively picked it up. I wouldn't even say it's my mistake. That's meant to happen. But the next card is awareness, actually. And so for those two to be in the bottom of the deck, again, there is a purpose behind the self-love that is required, that you need to hone within you if you are going to get through this season effortlessly. It is Aquarius season, I believe, by now. Hi, Aquariuses! But anyways, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an Aquarius myself. I celebrate every sign's birthday, but this season happens to be my season. It can be anybody else's seasons too, because we encompass every single zodiac sign at the end of the day within ourselves. It shows in our charts no matter what. So, anyways, other than that, I think that that's all that needed to come through right now. I think this reading is complete, so we'll leave it there. It's already 18 minutes, so I might as well close it from there. If there's anything that resonates with you, feel free to share. And again, I'll just leave it here from there. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll catch you the next one. Bye.